Does this movie live up to the legacy of Superman? Andy, what do you? Well, you haven't seen it, but Daryl, what do you think?
I would say it does, even though everybody got a fair share of as I stated earlier, screen time. The way the story started and the way it ended, I feel like this was a really great film and that it did live up to the legacy. Um, Now I have to watch it again because I want to go back to where they were in that dimension when they went through the portal. I want to learn more about that to really figure out. I need to figure out like what exactly was Lex trying to do, and the whole thing with the prison bin down there as well. Like I want to know like how long has this been going on because this story is like it kind of at first it was like a older looks like an older film kind of mixed with new like especially that the fortress
Yes.
and I was intrigued. I was like this is it's kind of like okay you can tell that they're kind of old school but it's new school as well. It's still alien to the people of that time, but at the same time it's like I don't know. It's genius. It's genius the way they pull that off.
Yeah.
And
I
that,
I honestly thought they were boom tubes when it first opened up, and I
Yeah,
thought there was
yeah.
going to be another Lex Luthor, Dark Side, Doomsday, something.
yeah, that
But
was that
then,
was crazy.
Did you
but then I
think
was
that?
like, okay, cool.
Did you think that Mr. Handsome, as they called him in the movie, did you think he was John Jones at first? Because I did. I was like, oh, they got Martian Manhunter in this movie. I originally thought he was a white Martian. Well, that too, yeah. And I don't. They never explained what he was. I think it was something about the evolution when you create that pocket universe, it just changed the evolution of the universe or something like that. How people, because I think Flex creates
Yeah.
the universe in that with that pocket dimension, which I thought was a little bit of a callback to the John Byrne run as well too, with the pocket universe, with the Legion of Superheroes and
Hmm.
all that. So, have we
How
seen?
about you, Jeff?
What's the question?
Uh, do you feel like that this movie lived up to the legacy of Superman?
I think it was a nice course correction. I did enjoy it. I didn't love it. I did enjoy it a lot. I probably it'd take me another, but sometimes I have to watch things again and again to really. I think he got beat up a lot. I will say it was like there was a lot of like, wow, okay.
Yeah,
So then the movie starts with him getting broken bones. I think the middle part's him getting broken bones. It feels like the end of the movie, he's got engineer goo all through him and things like that. But he does shine. It does get with that hope and aspiration where he does things for the good of mankind. It wasn't a cynical take. I didn't feel it was a cynical take on Superman. I thought the guy, what was his name? David Cornsweet, is that how you pronounce his name? I think he did a really good job as Superman. I thought really he does. I thought it was a nice course correction. And again, I'm coming in from a comic book reader, and that's where my first love is always going to be. Is going to be the comic books. So any movie that embraces that's not ashamed of being the comic books, I always sort of love on that one. But I thought it was a nice course correction with it can get a little you can get a little cynical sometimes with some of the movies, and you're not too slavish like I thought Superman Returns was a little too slavish to the Donner films. And I don't care what anybody says, I don't think Clark Superman would be a deadbeat dad and go off knowing Lois is pregnant. So there's always little things in some of the previous movies. There's little things that always will. I can nitpick things around there, but I usually get over them after a while. But for me personally, I think it's a nice course correction. So yeah, honoring the legacy. He didn't throw slumlords out of the apartment from out the skyscraper to their doom like the original Superman did. But if you're going through the Silver Age and the kindness aspect and things like that from the Reeve movies, yeah, I think it does a pretty good job of honoring that legacy, that particular legacy.
Hey fellas, it's I have to go.
All
I
right,
thought
Daryl.
Yeah, I thought I could stay on longer, but I got some stuff to do. Heading out to San Diego in about 6 days.
We get the emotional heart of Superman of what you were saying, Jeff, and I feel like that helped a lot.
Yeah.
This is punk rock.
Now, I will say this. I'm weird. I'm going to be honest with you. I have weird taste in comics and things like that. There was a part of me of them leaning into the Silver Age aspect with some of the movie that I kind of did want. Like, who's the woman who played Lois Lane? Rachel Brosnahan.
Brosnahan, yes.
Brosnahan. I thought it was kind of cool if she did go like, fly around on a witch's broom while she tried to get Superman to marry her or something. A little, because I did like the episodic nature. I thought it was really nice. I know All Star Superman was an inspiration for this movie, so I did like the sort of episodic nature that this movie did. I had heard they actually had to take it. They actually edited this movie beforehand. It originally had title cards, like it is basically a week in the life of Superman, but maybe it's called the worst week in the life of Superman. So they would have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to kind of separate them. I kind of was like, oh, I kind of like that idea, but yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, I'll hush.
The legacy in it, I feel like it was there.
Yeah,
I feel like short of like Keith said, Steve Lombard, I didn't hate him, didn't like him completely, but he had some funny moments in the film, especially when he didn't have a chair in the giant ship. Yeah. So I mean, there were some great moments. It was a really great film. If you had to say, honestly, I feel like they might have set up the next villain. When you think about it, do we see Ultraman again?
Can I ask you a question, Josh, about this? Okay. The reveal.
Yes.
I'm going to assume everybody who's watching this by now will have seen the movie. If not, big spoiler alert. But Ultraman, Hammer of Baravia, Ultraman, was he Bizarro or was he Connor Kent?
I feel like he was Bizarro.
Okay.
I feel like he was Bizarro. I feel like when he gets shoved into the black hole with all those little cubes that are following through, I can never pronounce it. It's Earth backwards.
Oh yeah, the Bizarro speak.
The Bizarro Earth, the square Earth.
Yeah.
Parte or however they say it.
Yeah, that works for me.
Extra, I feel like you're gonna get him back as Bizarro.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where they were going. Because that definitely was not Ultraman.
Yeah. Oh, definitely not from the Earth 3 Ultraman.
Because he's a clone, not a parallel universe. But...
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry, Andy.
We're just spoiling this left and right.
Yeah, it's kind of
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a Marvel guy. I'm not a DC guy. So, it's like talking gibberish.
I still say go see it,
so
man.
Captain Marvel.
Fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, I meant Shazam.
Oh, Deadpool. I mean,
wasn't it great at the end when Magneto showed up? And
right?
Well, even if you were a DC guy, I feel like I'm always talking gibberish. So,
so if you had to give this a rating,
PG
out of 10.
Yeah.
The meeting or us doing this, or are we talking about the movie? I'm just
movie.
Keith, what would you give it?
It's the best Superman movie ever made.
Okay.
That's a big statement right there.
That is a bold statement. Do you know the only movie I put above it?
Catwoman.
Star Wars.
Superman 78.
Wait,
you ever seen the
Steel with Shaquille O'Neal?
Yep.
I would
Christopher Reeves, the best, introduced his story the best. This was the best Superman movie ever made because you talk about the legacy. Most of us mentioned the Justice Friend, right? Yeah. We talked about cartoons.
Yes.
Right. That's the legacy of Superman in a universe where he's not the only meta.
Yes.
Do they hint at Batman at all?
Other than Gotham City. Just mentioning Gotham City.
Because I swear my thought would be as they recast and have a different Batman, not Affleck.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, there's no Batfleck, there's no Battison. They're recasting.
Yeah.
So,
Good. Yeah,
They're-
that's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 for you, Keith? Out of 10?
11.
Unless somebody's going to tell me that there's going to be a better one,
Yeah.
it's got to be a 10. And then if another one comes, it's going to crank it up to 11, and that's loud, man.
Yep.
That's punk rock.
Exactly. Mine is a 9.95 because, like I said, I gave it a 10, and Chris said, well, you can't give it a 10 and put 78 above it because 78 is a 10 for me. But I think that's purely nostalgia. Growing up, loving Christopher Reeve, you know, he was my hero. When he got hurt, when he passed away, you know, it had made me cry. You know, a piece of my childhood was gone. And that, you know, for me was a lot. But yeah, I give it a 9.9.
But now you got Metamorpho.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And Anthony Carrigan does an amazing job as Metamorpho.
Can I just say one thing about Metamorpho?
Yes.
It warmed whatever's inside beating here. I don't know if it's a heart or what it is, but it did warm my heart. That as an old school DC reader, there was a scene where Superman was in the Pocket Universe and he was trying to say, what's the baby's name? I've never heard of this
Baby Joey.
Baby Joey, which I've never read. Somebody told me it was from Justice League Europe. I think I read one issue of Justice League Europe in my life. And apparently Baby Joey and Superman was holding it. And Metamorpho, the bottom half of him transforms into a rocket. And I was like, oh, this is so Silver Age right here.
Yes.
But then my other geek, Richard Patterson, I'm going to name drop him right here, did tell me there's a problem with that scene. And I was like, I don't know if Metamorpho is just a douche or not. I'm sorry, watch my language here. Watch my language. But
Metamorpho can metamorphize into anything, so he could be a douche.
the thing was, he told Superman, I can't shapeshift while holding a baby.
Yes.
So he made Superman hold the baby, but there is Metamorpho shapeshifting and holding Superman and the baby before they get sucked into black. I'm sorry. This is a big spoiler. Before he gets sucked into the black hole. So is Metamorpho just playing with Superman?
No, Metamorpho was holding Superman. Superman was holding the baby.
Yeah.
So it's just like, can you lift Thor's hammer if you lift Thor?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a
Yes. The answer is yes. Maybe. The answer is maybe.
So 1 out of
All
10.
right, so
What do you think?
what's that?
1 out of 10, Jeff.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes.
1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. It's hard because I'm comparing to the first two that I ever saw, which is the Chris Reeve movies. Superman 1 and Superman, they have their charms.
second one was where he was drinking, right?
Superman 3 is where he's drinking.
Oh, okay, 3. Yeah.
He splits off into the dark Superman. The first Superman just has those moments for me that still I think I still have to put it above. It has the better score. I just feel like I thought if there's one thing this movie was lacking to me, it did use what's the word called member berries, where it kind of throws something out from the past to kind of harken back to getting your.
Oh yeah, you heard the John Williams score.
You would hear the
Four or five
John
places.
Williams thing through there. I thought the rest of the score. I'm going to geek on that one. I'd probably give it again. I'd like to see it a second time. Probably on first view, I'd probably give it a 7. I would give it a 7. I think there are things I would like on the second viewing. I think there are things that could drive me a little crazy on the second viewing.
Make sure to watch the soundtrack credits because that punk band James Gunn plays in it.
You know what I loved about the credits? I never realized this till oh, really? I did not know that. I also loved in the credits that Otis's last name was Berg. So I thought that's a very nice shout out right there. But I love the comic. Again, as I said, this one felt like it's something straight out of the comic books. So Reeve didn't have this special effects budget, or nobody in Hollywood back when he was making those movies. Really, they turned their nose up at the comics in a way, so they weren't going to use. I would like to see Parasite come into a future Superman movie. I think it'd be a really good villain. I think they could do it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what? I'll even go to
But
the
Andy's
weird-
right though. When they put Zod in the mirror zone, negative zone, whatever, what a great effect for its age.
for its age. I'm gonna go even
Yeah.
weirder. I would love to see Terra Man show up in the opening credits of the next movie. It'd be kind of just sort of. I can see James Gunn doing that. I give it. I'm babbling again. I'm gibberish. I'll go a 7 with it. It
Okay.
could go higher. I don't think it'll go lower. I think it'll probably be a 7. It could go. I have to do a second viewing when I'm paying more attention to the actual plot and not trying to find all the Easter eggs, which may be the 6th or 7th viewing before I get around.
All
I
right.
think who's in
So
the
I
mural?
guess
I can't make out who's all in the mural. I saw Wildcat and Vibe and Amethyst in this mural, and I'm like,
And Jay Garrick
yeah.
Flash.
and Jay Garrick Flash.
Until we get it on a Blu-ray at home or a 4K, we're not going to be able to pause that part to see because it's not
The
consistently
resolution
up
on it is
there.
terrible. I've never seen such blocky low res photos. I'm like, internet, you're letting me down. What is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I guess there's
Um,
another reason to go to Cleveland, right? To
Yeah.
see,
Yes.
or is that Cincinnati,
Yeah.
Cleveland? Where they use Cleveland, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cincinnati. It was Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
The reason I know that
Okay.
because there was a guy who went to Heroes Con one year. It was 2 years ago, and he was from Cincinnati. We're just in line, just talking, and we were just talking to him. Apparently, he worked for the Frazetta Museum, but but he lived in Cincinnati, and he was telling me they had rented that place out to start filming. So that was like 2 years ago. They rented Superman. So I know it was Cincinnati because I remember him telling me he was from
Yep.
Cincinnati.
Yep. So you
So
can
now
go
there's
see
one
the
reason to
hippos
want to
at
go
the
to
zoo.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And
Not
go to
two to go to
Cleveland, at
Cleveland.
the end of the day.
All right. I guess it's my turn, Josh, to
Yes.
give my. All right. All right. Upon first viewing, and this was the first viewing for me was done under duress because I was so concerned that this movie was going to be bad and that the DC universe, movie wise, was going to be dead forever. So I was on pins and needles the whole time watching the movie and was just relieved when I left the theater that night. And so I gave it a good but not great rating of like an 8.5, which is, it's still a good comic book movie. But going back and watching it a second time, my I was able to relax and actually enjoy the movie. I have upped my review to a solid 9.2 to 9.3, somewhere in that area. I thought it was a great movie. There were things in there. One of the things that I kind of noticed that I kind of want to mention tonight, there's a scene at the very end when the final fight is over and Lois is on the ground and Superman drops in and he comes up to her and he says, "Miss Lane, would you like to have that interview now?" To me, that felt the most Christopher Reeve out of any part of that movie I had felt. There was something about that just struck right there. I love the use of crypto in the movie. I thought it was smart. Metamorpho, obviously, being there just was the icing on it. Or how do they say, the chef's kiss of the movie? Like I said earlier tonight when I said how I first got introduced to Superman, if they would serve cereal in a bowl at the movie theater, it would have felt like I was watching an episode of the Super Friends in live action.
Wow.
So,
Well, especially with the Hall of Justice there. I mean, you must have been really excited when you saw
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, I don't know about the rest of you, but when the Hall of Justice popped up on the screen, all I could hear in my
Oh, yeah.
head was, "Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice."
Can I look forward to the Wonder Twins coming in?
I would love to see it, and I would not put
Yeah.
it past James Gunn.
We've already teased the monkey.
I mean, that's it. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Favorite scene, real quick. Jeff, what you got? Favorite scene in the movie?
Start with somebody else. Let me think.
Start
I'm
with
trying.
somebody else? All right,
You're on the
Andy.
spot right now, Josh. I'm on the spot. Wait a second. Let
Well,
me
He hasn't seen it, so
Favorite scene in the trailers?
ask Andy. Ask
yeah,
Andy.
trailer. Let's say I like when he snaps back at the dog when he's like, "Take me home." So that's pretty good. I thought they did good on that trailer. It definitely will, makes me want to go see it for sure.
Awesome. Keith, what about you? Favorite scene?
Guy Gardner manifesting his willpower when he goes to cover for Superman at that border excursion.
The tanks. Yes. Yes.
I think that was a very well-willed.
Yep.
Hand
Very
gestures.
well. Yeah. Read between the lines if you have not seen it.
It's funny.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, you got one?
All right, I do have one. I will say, although Rich will disagree and tell me the plot disparity, but thank you, Keith, for giving me ammunition for fighting back with this. But the whole rescue from the pocket Earth when with the Superman and Baby Joey and Metamorpho coming in to rescue that, I know it's kind of lame. I feel like I'm choosing like the supporting characters in a Superman movie. But I did thought, but you see Superman even at his lowest point. Or he's still not have in Metamorpho creating the yellow sun. I'm ruining this for you, Andy. I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay.
But creating the our yellow sun to kind of like, when he makes that turn.
Yep.
And I thought that whole when Ed Metamorpho, everything from Metamorpho doing the sun turn to Mr. Terrific and Lois Lane going in to the Pocket
Mhm.
Universe and Superman and Baby Joe. I'd probably put that down as probably, and again, like that's a good thing. And again, I think Chris even mentioned it towards the end was like, are you ready for that interview, Miss Lane? I kind of wish there was a little more interaction with Lois and Clark in the field.
Yeah.
I always felt like it was always like in close quarters, at home or something. But that was a great scene, Chris. I do agree with you on that one. It does hit you right in the what's the word
Does
feels.
it have that Loki vibe? Toward it kind of the way you're talking about it, it feels like what was it, Loki season 2 when he becomes the pretty much the gatekeeper of the timeline.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is it similar to that?
Um, Similar in the feel of it, but not in the whole I'm closing myself off from everybody feel.
Mm.
Yeah. But in the feel of I'm gonna step in and be the hero.
Guys, I'm going to log off. My phone is about to die, and I got a early morning meeting.
All right, Keith. Thank you, man. Have a
Awesome,
good
Keith.
one.
Thanks
See
for
you guys.
joining us, man. You're
Yep.
awesome.
Chris, favorite scene?
Favorite scene. All right. I think my favorite scene was the introduction of the Justice Gang when they're all fighting the kaiju. And you see them working together with Superman, but not really working together with Superman because Superman is over there saving squirrels and moving old ladies, and they're up there just taking it to that big kaiju. And Superman's like, "Well, I wanted to take it to like an intergalactic prison where we could study it or something, or like a hospital." And Mr. Terrific just goes in and does what he does, and you're like, I thought that was really cool. Again, just flashbacks of like watching the old Super Friends cartoon there. Um,
Um,
but
for
what
me,
about you, Josh?
it's two. Okay. The action sequence with Mr. Terrific when he takes Lois and they go and go to get into the pocket universe. That's the action sequence I like the best.
Yeah.
The best funny sequence in the film is when Lois first goes in and tries to get him to help. And Guy Gardner keeps talking about that's against my oath. I can't do that. That's against my oath. And Rachel Brosnahan has the best line in the movie. She looks at him and goes, "That haircut should be against your oath." But for me, that was just great.
Okay, a few more things. One thing. And I talked to Randy at the shop yesterday, and he said that the Kansas farmers need to go kick James Gunn's butt because he went and interviewed them to decide how he wanted to portray Jonathan and Martha. Because if ever there was a redneck family, that was the redneck family.
Is he from the
How
Midwest?
you guys feel about that?
Is that guy from the Midwest?
Huh?
Is that guy?
No, Randy's from here.
Okay.
Randy's
Because we had a discussion last night with the friends I hang out with. We were trying to, is that a Kansas accent? It felt like they were very, very Southern.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Clark, there's something on the box you might want to see. But I feel like with the heartwarming moments with Jonathan and Clark was really good, and I think the last thing that to me, I will submit this, take it as you might. Even though we didn't get an origin story of Superman, I feel like we got an origin story of Superman because he learned how to be Superman and do the things that he's going to do based off of what Jonathan told him sitting on the front porch. I think there was a time before that. I mean, you got to remember he's only 3 years into being Superman.
Yes.
That he's still trying to learn how to be Superman. So,
All right. So recommendation, Andy, go see it, man. Everybody watching, go see this movie, see it multiple times. You will see something different each time, and it's just a great heartwarming film. If you guys, watching, drop your ratings in the comments for us. Tell us what you thought. Was this the Superman we needed? I think so. I think it's the hopeful Superman that we've been missing over the last few years. I know some of you guys said you liked Henry Cavill. I liked Henry Cavill. I did not like the way he was written. I feel like he wasn't written well as Superman. James Gunn gets the character. I don't think Zack Snyder understood the character.
I agree, Josh.
But give it a like, give it a comment. Let us know what you think. Give us your rating in the comments. Andy and Jeff, thank you for joining us tonight. I know we lost Keith and Daryl, but this has
Thank
been
you for
fun.
letting me join you. Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Yep, appreciate it.
absolutely.